Hey, what's going on, guys? It is the Nicholas Persakis Judge Football channel here today with the match reaction from Chelsea 4, Panathinaikos 1. Of course, I've been kind of doing these videos a little bit on the podcast recently with my boy, Sebastian. Obviously, check that out, the Blue and Red Banter podcast. Some good stuff, good banter, good analytics, good everything. Just check it out. But otherwise, what a result today. I mean, this was a result that expected. Granted, I said we were going to get a 3-1 win. Did I think it was going to be as handily as I thought? Kinda. I thought this was a result that, like I said, it was proven it was going to happen. But Chelsea were in first gear since the start of the game. The start of the game, there wasn't a single time, except from the first 10 minutes, that I really thought, "Wow, this game could get somewhere. This game could really change." If they score a goal, I don't know. First minute of the game, they allowed a stupid free kick, and a runner from deep on their side gets a good header. Jorgensen makes a brilliant save on net. Brilliant save from Jorgensen. If he doesn't make that save, the complexity of this entire game is completely changed. Completely changed. But instead, he makes the save. Really brilliant save. And we look like absolute crap for the first 10 minutes. Outside of that, smooth sailing. It's like the Panathinaikos players just completely shut down. Completely shut down. Like, this was the first game back at home after the tragic death of George Baldock. So rest in peace to him. But this was the first game back from that tragedy. And it seemed like from the energy they were saying this team was ready to go, and what I think from Facundo Balestri, their goal scorer, was, it seemed like they were ready to play. But I think that there was just levels to this game. I think that there was just levels to the overall play and quality. This is our second team, and we whipped their ass. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close, dude. They didn't never, even though they scored, that was just a lack in concentration. Overall lack in concentration. They thought the game was over with like 45 minutes left. Basically, when it was 1-0, the game was over. It's one of those things where we just concede goals because we concede goals. Like I said, we were going to allow a goal in this game, and it almost was too obvious that it was going to be the way we conceded it. We were going to be winning either 3 or 4-0, and then we just concede a stupid goal at the end of the game for what reason. Doesn't matter. It just happened. But otherwise, it was a brilliant result. The first goal, I think around the 20 something minute or 30 something minute, João Felix gets gets a good flick on header to Mudryk, who places a really good cross, or a ground cross, I guess you could say, just a good pass into João Felix. He can't miss it from that space. Brilliant stuff. Overall, dude. Actually, we'll get into it in just a second. Mudryk, brilliant play, but we'll get more in a second. But that was our first goal. Second goal, brilliant one as well. Pedro Neto plays a great cross into Mudryk, who heads it into the ground. In a way, I don't think he needed to head it into the ground or head it up. I think it really didn't matter where he put it. But at the same time, it's really good. Mudryk gets a goal and an assist. He's flying. He's flying. Then another one. He gets another assist. This one you could say is a little bit more choppy. João Felix gets a second goal of the game. He was looking like he was going to be our man of the match. But I mean, I think Mudryk deserved it. I don't know who won it, but I'm pretty sure Mudryk deserved it more. But Mudryk, dude, 2 assists and a goal. João Felix's goal was a little lackluster. Of course, it took a ginormous deflection, but that's besides the point. It's a goal's a goal. And then, of course, he also is the one who contributes to the goal for Nkunku. He's the one who wins that penalty. He kicks it into the guy's hand, which then it leads to the penalty. And then Nkunku, even with the laser beams in his eyes, he places it in the bottom left corner. He strikes it, dude. He does not place a soft penalty. It's just in the bottom left corner. And that's basically all she wrote outside of the goal scorer for Panathinaikos, who gets it, who Palestri places it in the right hand corner. Again, like just a lack of judgment. But not. I wasn't upset when we conceded, of course, because we were just dominating. They never really even had a chance throughout this first or the second half of the first half, and then the entire second half, even until they scored. Like they never even had chances really. Like their passing was not good. They overall just didn't look up to the scrap. It was that simple. The sofa score overall, I mean, you see the 4-1 win. And again, this was a domination. Um, end of second half, end of the first half, and basically the entire second half, we had most of the momentum. It's just like, it was pretty clear to see who won this game. You could see by the ratings. Um, going player by player. I mean, let's go from the starting the back. Jorgensen, they gave him a 6.9, but I mean, all he had to really do was make that one really important save at the beginning of the game, and after that, you can't really blame him too much for the goal that he conceded. I mean, he can't. There's not much he really could do. It's played across the box for basically a tap, so it's not really much of his fault. But he was brilliant. I thought he was good, 7 out of 10. Especially because if he makes that, if that save, he doesn't make that save at the beginning of the game. This game is basically a completely different like, complexity, like I said. DSS actually, let's put it this way: the entire back line is incredible. They do a great job outside of conceding that one goal. Vega played outstanding. Benoit Badiashile probably played his best game in a Chelsea shirt since I think 2 years ago when we signed him in that January window. XL DCC did a good job filling at right back since we didn't even have one on the field. And then Marc Cucurella, dude, I don't know how he gets a 6.7. This guy was everywhere. You could see he's in these pockets here, playing as one of this, like the midfielder as well, in this left hand side. But he was playing at points here in this, like I guess it would be this attacking mid role and the left back in the midfield. I mean, he was everywhere. He was up in here on the right side at points in this game. Marco Correa is just something special, dude. I think that he's only gotten more confident, especially at the end of that season and then going into the Euros. He's been brilliant since then. The main question mark with him is going to be if he plays on this game on Sunday because of it, but I don't think there's much to it. I think he's still going to play on Sunday. It'll be interesting to see if Malo Gusto starts at left back, though, because of it. I don't think that it's going to be something that we're going to have to worry about, though. I 100% think that we're going to have Cucurella yet again start. But my prediction for this lineup was wrong again. I think that's like 3 games in a row I've not picked a correct lineup. Most of it is well because I didn't think Cucurella was going to play, but he did. And then I think I also had Gusto playing it right back in this one. I'm not 100% sure. And of course, we put out our lineups on the podcast too early, I think, in a way. But at the same time, I thought it was fine because, again, we didn't know who was traveling. And of course, DCC played a right back. And of course, Malo Gusto I had selected and he didn't even travel. But DCC was very good. The entire back line, I think, it's up for your judgment. But I think that all of them can get 7 out of 10s and above. There's a way you could even give Benoit even an 8. Benoit Badiashile did his thing today, man. I mean, you could see in some of his passing, like he didn't even have a ground duel success, but he made good clearances. His passing was brilliant, 95%. I think him and Vega had similar passings. His long balls was 8 out of 10. Like Benoit was special, dude. Benoit was special in this one. Vega was also very good. I just think the entire back line deserves its respect. I think honestly, it says we sit up in a 4-2-2-2, or yeah, but it was more just this three back, and then Cucurella was basically another midfielder. But this formation was interesting to see. It wasn't the same as formation we've been seeing as an inverted left back, and then you have your right back kind of fill in or something. But we saw something a little bit different in this one, and it kind of did look a little bit like this. Um, the Dewsbury Hall and Enzo Fernandez midfield, I think it really only worked because of the opponents who were playing. I, you know, I don't think that you could do this that pairing together in a Premier League game, for example. But I think that it works because of the opponent and them being a lot worse than us. Enzo and Dewsbury Hall were very good though. They definitely for sure did their job. You saw Dewsbury Hall was basically the one who got forward more than Enzo. Enzo played basically as himself as a 6. Really good pass percentages, really good long balls. Even won a decent amount of his ground duels, not more than half of them, but it was pretty close. He won both of his aerial duels and didn't really lose the ball all too much because they didn't really lose the ball all too much in general. But Enzo did a great job. I think that they were very good. Um, Getting onto the guys before we get to these two guys, Neto got a good assist, but outside of that, he did some okay things. But outside really of that one cross that led to an assist, um, it wasn't too spectacular. And again, in Kunku, it's hard to judge in Kunku because in a way you're sitting there like, oh, he got the penalty, but outside of that, again, he really wasn't on the ball too much. He got the ball and made some good looking plays, but he didn't generate a lot. He doesn't have the same striker. He's not the same type of striker as Nicholas Jackson, who has proved to be an actual striker that runs in behind, collects the ball, comes deep. And Kunku just wants to stay deep and be the guy that in Palmer is. He doesn't want to be this type of striker. He's a deep lying forward or a center forward type of striker. And that's not what this Chelsea team needs. And I think that's why he's getting the majority of his playing time as this position. And that's why we're seeing someone like João Felix stay in behind, who I think in this one was able to roam free a crap ton. And a guy like Mihailo Mudryk was able to basically roam free and do whatever he wants as well, mainly on that left hand side. I think that João Felix and Mihailo Mudryk proved something today. It almost seemed after that João Felix, after he was included in the press conference, it seemed all too likely he was going to get involved and get a goal in this one. But the someone I really had high hopes for in this one, and then I definitely, of course, I think everybody had in their starting 11 was Mihailo Mudryk. It almost seemed too obvious that Misha was going to play. But this was a great performance from Misha overall, man. If you're going to sit here and you're going to talk about certain players that are getting to the point where they're going to have to get more looks, it might be Misha. It might just be Misha. This guy, for sure, for sure, did what Maresca wanted. You saw when he scored that goal, he went to Maresca, he gave him a big hug, and Maresca was so happy for this guy. I mean, what else are you going to ask for a guy for? This is exactly what you're asking for. A 2 assists and a goal. He was in the right places. Didn't really do enough, I don't think, when it came to getting by his opponents. If you see, only five of it, or one of his five dribbles were completed. But outside of that, there wasn't many bad things that Misha did today. Brilliant, brilliant game. From overall guys on the bench, of course, guys like Gio came on, didn't really do a lot in his 30 minutes he got. Tyreek George, I thought showed a good cameo. The only problem I think with his cameo was that he was a little bit selfish. He had the what's it called? The Nani Madueke syndrome, which is sometimes a bad not a bad thing, but I also think he could have maybe of course he's only 18, I think, Tyreek George, or 19. So you gotta give the kid some slack. But I think he was very solid in his little 30-minute cameo. He did a pretty good job. He almost scored, I think, at least twice or three times. He had at least five shots in his small period of playing time. He was letting those things rip, but I think a few people were getting upset with the amount of times. Cassidy came on, and I thought it was a really good sub. A little bit more solidity at the back when he came on. Didn't really put a foot wrong in this one in the minutes he came on for Cassidy. And Carney, again, sadly, I think he's going to be sold in January. But then you look at the overall statistics, it just shows that we were the better team. There wasn't many shots, to be honest, in this one. We had the better XG. The first half was we were kind of said it was kind of a snooze fest. Second half was a little bit better, at least for the viewer. But overall, like, we were the better team. We had more shots. We had more big chances. We converted all of our big chances. And then you look at our shot targets. Almost all of our shots were on target. And then almost all of them as well were in the box as well. So we were creating good chances for ourselves. I would have liked to see, because I just saw it, I would have liked to see Shimmy play, even Sam, but it's hard to, when you only got five subs, I think it's hard to get everybody you want on the field, and especially because you want to make sure guys like Mark Gu, who kind of deserve to be playing more as a striker, more. Tyreek George, who's the best youth academy product I think we have. And then, like, the other two guys who were kind of like the midfield subs, I think it made too much sense. Of course, he had one more sub in this one. We could have saw someone like Shimmy play on the left-hand side, but it just didn't happen. So we move up into the top spot. Fiorentina behind us, probably the second best team in the competition. But we move in the top spot. I doubt anybody is going to be, actually, there's going to be probably nobody who takes our top spot going um in when we get into the match 3. I think we'll be top spot in this conference league. But that's what it's expected. That's what's expected out of us. So I have no problems whatsoever with it. So let me know what you guys think. This was a brilliant result for us. I mean, it's a really good way to come back after this. It's not like I said in the pod, it's not an abysmal result to lose against Anfield, especially the way we did. I'm not condoning the fact that losing is a good thing. I'm not saying that. As a Chelsea fan, you should want to win every single game you play against every single opponent you play. But the problem is we just can't, be okay with losing games like this. Because, of course, there's been times where we've been worse in the league in the season than some of these teams, but we beat them. But we beat them. So we can't just accept it. And in this game, especially, you saw the second team come in and get a great result. They all didn't play. And who was there anybody in this game who played in the game on Sunday? Not that I can think of, right? And Kunku played in it, but I don't know. It's one player. João Felix obviously didn't play. Enzo did play, but he didn't really play a crucial part. So it's like if only a handful, not even like a fingers worth of players played in the game on Sunday versus playing in the game this today. So it's a matter of trying to get the guys that are playing outstanding here on Thursdays and next Wednesday, I think. Those guys, keeping those guys prepared and ready to go and compared to the guys playing in the Premier League on those Saturday and Sundays. Because I doubt that the guys, like these guys are ready to go for every game and they're ready to compete for these spots. The guys on Sundays and Saturdays, they got to be ready for the big moments and these guys behind them. Because a lot of these guys are not going to go out without a count, man. Especially after you see Misha, who's knocking on that door. Jadon Sancho thought it was secure after a 3-goal contribution performance from Misha. Man, you can't take it lightly. After 2 goals from João Felix, he's still going to be on that B team. Cole Palmer's not going anywhere, even after a result that he had where he got marked out of the game. No one else I don't think did enough, but Benoit Badiashile for sure looked good. So I think that because he doesn't have much of his pressure on him anymore, I think is also a reason that he's looking a lot better in these last 2 games. But overall, very good stuff. Very good performance. The next one is Sunday, 10 a.m. here. We'll probably have the predictions and stuff out for it tomorrow, if I had to guess. Yeah, if I had to guess, it'll probably be tomorrow. Overall, very good stuff. Let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, and then make sure you guys check out the pod, Blue and Red Banter podcast on Spotify, and I post them here on my YouTube channel. So make sure you guys check those out. Thank you very much for watching. See you guys in the next one. Peace.